Kia ora. This is a little video to talk about finger puppets and the potential for them to be used creatively in your classroom. Let me just start by saying that when I say finger puppet, I just mean a little character. It doesn't necessarily have to fit your finger inside it. And you might want to think about the characters being something as simple as your students' self, so something that they're going to retell a story or be themselves in, or it could be a historical figure if you were doing something to do with social sciences or science or some of your literacy things. So the character itself and the use of the finger puppet can be as open-ended as you wish, or can be as constrained to whatever you need to do in your classroom. So for me, in my classroom, I take some little bits of felt like that, 2 pieces, joined at the top or not joined at the top, doesn't really matter, because you're going to use your hot glue gun and you're going to go all the way around the edge, leaving the bottom open to put your finger in, and then where you put the glue around the edge, you're going to press it down to seal those curved edges. And then you need to think about using little scraps of things that you have to create your character. So thinking about, is it an animal, is it a person, is it something imaginary, and using your scissor skills to be able to create that character. I generally use little googly eyes. You can use ones like that, or you can use the little plasticky ones, and I use hot glue to stick them on, and it's amazing that very quickly your character, even with just eyes, kind of comes to life. So you definitely need eyes and a mouth because you want your character to be able to talk and interact. You might take something found like a leaf like that out of the garden, and you can stick eyes and a mouth on, and you can use your character to retell. You can make a little cardboard loop like that and put that onto your item if you're going to want to have a finger space for it, but something like that leaf is a bit thin, because you can see the light reflected through, and then that loop isn't so great. So thinking about that, also about what material you're choosing, and you can pretty much choose anything you like. You can turn highlighters into little finger puppet characters. Needs a mouth, of course. You can turn little things that you only have one of into little characters, and again, this will also need a mouth. Okay, and it needs something on the back to be able to stick my finger in, unless I use my character up that way, and then I can stick my finger in. I use either a clear glue like that, a glue gun like that, or if it's a non-porous kind of thing, I use Superfix glue, and that's so that we can have a really good contact adhesion, and that it can be used pretty quickly. Hot glue is pretty good for most things for my classroom. When you're thinking about your character, think about the kind of content it is. So if it's a historical figure, what are the little pieces you're going to make that clue the person in that that's a little historical figure that you're going to use to do some retelling? So it might be a special taonga that you're making for your character. It might be something with a tanako pattern, whatever it is. Puppets are really great because you can address some difficult content that you can't necessarily do the same when it's person to person, and so the character is outside of the person. There are many children that find a puppet easier to voice and to talk through initially when they're learning about oral language and communication than if they were to be themselves and voice as themselves. You can use your puppet face to face in the moment. You can record it. You can manipulate it using digital tools. The uses of it are as wide as your imagination and what works for your class.